Hello and welcome to day 8 of the 12 Cast Ons 2026. My name is Sasha and I'm a knitter, crocheter, crafter who lives in the West Midlands in the UK. As I've mentioned, this is day 8 of the 12 Cast Ons. This is a slightly different setup because I'm kind of filming this bit, the intro, and I'm going to go straight into doing the outro. Because I actually did this cast on yesterday, but due to ill planning and other bits, I ended up starting quite late, even though I wound the yarn first thing in the morning, which I did get some recording of. I then recorded a regular podcast episode and realised I hadn't charged any of the batteries for my GoPro. So after recording the podcast episode, I had 1% battery left and the other battery was completely dead. So I did end up filming a little bit of me knitting in the evening after it had charged, but by that point it was too dark to really film this intro, so I shall start by talking about what today's, or technically yesterday's cast on is, and it is technically a twofer. I am making a matching set of cabled Christmas socks for me and my partner. This was a project that I picked up the yarn for at Wonderwool 2024 with the intention of making them for that Christmas, and it never happened. Then I had the intention of doing it last year and it never happened. So I'm using the 12 cast-ons as an excuse to get them cast on in the hopes they'll be finished for this Christmas. So I've got 11 and a half months. Yeah, 11 and a half months. Yes, I'm already counting down to Christmas. So these are not any specific pattern. I'm kind of designed it myself. I have used this book, the Knitter's Stitch collection, for the main cable I'm going to be doing, as well as just adding some basic twists on either side just to make it look pretty. So I shall try and get a picture later of the cable I ended up choosing as the main portion. Yeah, so I am using yarn from Ainsworth Print. This is their label. And I'm using the colours Wild Strawberry and Tide. So this is the Wild Strawberry. It's not as bright as it's showing up there. It's quite a moody kind of red. That's too dark. Yeah, it does have a bit of a shine to it on the camera that it doesn't have in real life. But I think it's quite a Christmassy red. I think it looks really nice. And then the Tide is this very, very rich, moody blue, which once again is coming out quite shiny on camera when it's actually not. I don't know how well it's showing up. It might show up a bit better in my other footage. When I pass you over to voiceover Sasha in a minute, she can tell you. But yep. So out of necessity, I'm having to knit my partner's pair first. So the way I'm doing this is the main body of his, so like the leg and the foot, will be in the blue, with heels, toes and cuffs being in the red. And then for mine it will be reversed, so the leg and the foot will be in this red, and then the heels, toes and cuffs hopefully will be in this blue. And I say hopefully, my partner has quite big feet. They're quite wide, they're quite long. I have to knit his socks on a 2.75mm needle, otherwise if I did it on my usual 2.5mm needle I'd need to cast on about 80 stitches. So I'm knitting his first so I know how much of the blue I have to work with when it comes to mine, because if necessary I can just cut out the heel in the blue for mine if there's not going to be enough, or if I'm worried there's not going to be enough. So knitting his first, it also means I'm getting the bigger pair up the way first. And I shall now pass you over to voiceover Sasha, over some of the footage I got from earlier, to waffle on about that before you rejoin me here in what'll be about 5 seconds for me and hopefully about 5 minutes for you.
Hello, voiceover Sasha here. So this is me first thing on a Tuesday morning, very tired, winding up the yarn, ready for the cast on. You'll notice a lot of kind of random jumps between. I didn't think people wanted to sit there for 15 minutes watching me wind 2 100-gram skeins of yarn. So yeah, this is the wild strawberry colour. It actually looks a bit more colour accurate here. I think a bit later on you will see it in its cake form, and this is probably the most colour accurate it gets. My GoPro tries to brighten everything, so still trying to work out the colour correction tech. I'm not the most technical minded person, so it takes a while. So eventually you might see me doing some colour correction to actually make it colour accurate, but until that day it's sort of this. And there's me realising I hadn't put a podcast on and grabbing the phone. During the winding of these I was watching the Stashdown Diaries, which is a Canadian podcaster. I shall leave her channel linked below. She also did the 12 cast ons, although she did 4 separate cast on parties doing 3 cast ons a day, which if I had time I probably would have done that, but it made more sense for me to do it as 12 separate days. I'm showing off my coffee cup here. I got this from Siobhan's Crafts. It is a unicorn with yarn. I absolutely love it. And as you can see, my coffee table is a little bit of a mess. I haven't put away day 7's cast on from taking a picture of it for my thumbnail. I jumped straight into the tide. That's nowhere near colour accurate, no. That is a bit more colour accurate. This definitely is colour accurate. I'm rambling here, but yeah. So once again, they are Wild Strawberry and Tide. If possible, I will have the dyer linked below for you. I did buy these from Wonderwool 2024. I think later on I mention how I came about getting them. It was sort of the last purchase of that day, and so I am prepping here for casting on. On a Tuesday night, me and my partner do our own thing, so I'm here watching, I think, more Stashdown Diaries at the time. Yeah. This is my trick for making sure I've got enough yarn for the longtail cast on. I can't remember who taught me that, or who taught me the longtail cast on I'm about to show you, but that's kind of what I do every time I cast on. I don't bother with fancy cast ons. Basically everything I cast on knitting wise is a longtail cast on. Unless it requires a provisional cast on for whatever reason, it's just going to be a longtail cast on. Shortly you'll see my jeans change for leggings. This is because I got a little bit damp after going for a walk, so don't mind that. I just kind of left the camera set up to record me, just to catch some very, very exciting, very thrilling B-roll here of me, knitting. Ooh. I did cast on onto a double pointed and then took that onto my 9-inch circular. And there's the change. I can't remember what I was watching at this point. I'll have a look. I think it was Pawsome Pastimes. I will also have them linked in the description. And there is the cuff, and I am about to send you back to Sasha from the past for the outro. So, over to her. Bye!
And we're back. So, as you will have hopefully seen, I did get the cuff of the first sock done last night. Here it is in daylight for you all to see. This beautiful red. I am doing this in a 2x2 rib, as that's both of our preferred rib. I have knit myself a 1x1 cuff in the past, and I don't know what it is, but those socks don't stay up. The 1x1 rib, it just kind of goes slide, whereas these actually, stay up. And so, yep. I will be doing one round of knit to make sure the colours don't like muddy with each other, when you do pearls and stuff. So that it will be, I think it looks really good. It's not in your face Christmas like if I'd picked a green would be. So this blue is also, when I bought this, my partner was having a nice sit down before we drove home, because I didn't realise the first year that there was actually a second hall. Like, Wonderwool takes place at the Welsh Showground, and we basically spent the entire day in the main room, which is technically multiple barns all open together, so you got the doors open, whereas this one's kind of outside to the left. As you came out of the other barns, it was to the right and out of the way. I noticed it as we were about to leave, so we went over there. My partner had a sit down with coffee and cake. I went round a couple of times. He convinced me to go back and buy the stuff I wanted because, when he saw this colour, he fell in love with it. He was like, please tell me that's for me. And that's where I got the idea for the Christmas socks, because I think these colours worked really, really well together. And if I can get a picture of these without the shine and they're a bit more colour accurate, I will add it one of these directions. So, yeah. And I've realised there's been a lot of cables in my life recently, and there's going to be a lot more because I really enjoy cables. In fact, I think there was another project I cast on with cables. Yeah, there was another project I cast on with cables. So, that is progress for the first day. I have also spent the morning, as I said, actually planning the things. In this book, where I'm taking the main cable from, it's written out as if to knit it flat. Obviously, I'm doing it in the round in a sock, so at some point I'm going to have to dust off my Excel skills and chart out this pattern in the round, which will probably be a bit easier because then I can make two separate charts with the cables on either side that frame it, for mine and my partner's, print them off and use them. So yeah, out of necessity, knitting my other half sock first, so that I know how much of the blue I have left to work with. I would like to have enough of both colours left for a gnome, because I think these two colours will work really well in a gnome. However, I have a feeling I'll have plenty of this left, but not this. So usually when I knit my partner a pair of socks, they come out to about 93 to 96 grams, which is almost an entire 100 grams gain, as 90 odd grams is. I'm hoping that given I'm doing the cuffs, heels and toes of his socks in the red, that it will at least give me about 20 odd grams left, which is easily, if I have 20 grams, it's easily enough to do heels, toes and cuffs for my socks, but I'm not sure if I'll have any left for a gnome. I'm hoping, but we'll see. I don't imagine these will be a very quick knit, at least not in the beginning. What with making sure I haven't messed up the cable pattern, seeing how it goes and stuff. I haven't yet decided if I'm going to do the cable all the way down the foot as well. I might just do it on the leg. I'm also not doing it all the way around the leg, it's just going to be a panel at the front. So yeah, day 1, or day 8 of cast on, but first day of working on this progress. It is 25 rounds a rib. And hopefully I'll have both pairs done in time for Christmas this year. I guess we shall see as time goes on, and I shall leave it there for today's episode of the 12 Cast Ons. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys.